What is going on, man? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily App. I believe we are on episode 13. So, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And we on time today. That's a win. Usually, I always schedule for like 10:15, end up being like 10:30, but we on time, 10:24, right in the middle. Ah, but I hope everybody is having a beautiful, what is it? Tuesday? Tuesday. Beautiful Tuesday so far. My Tuesday has definitely been well. Um, we had an OB appointment. Baby is looking perfect. So that was a beautiful thing to see because obviously a lot of things can happen during pregnancy. A lot of people can be stressed about a lot of different things. So I definitely do not take any of that for granted. So it's always a great sign to go to these appointments and see, healthy baby, healthy mom, and everything is going smooth. So almost there. We at third base. And we on our way to home plate. So got a couple more months into the third trimester coming in July, late July. So excited. Another boy. So about to have two boys and it is going to get crazy. I love it though. I'm a hooper myself, so the ones, which is like one-on-one basketball and all that, is about to be very competitive. So I love it personally. It's obviously going to be chaotic because boys are a lot different than girls. If you know, girls are more so generally on the chill side when it comes to infants, toddlers, and stuff like that. Boys be bouncing off the wall just like Jack and the Incredibles. They just like that. So I'm already used to it. So, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, definitely Tuesday has been going well for me. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it for sure. Um, I definitely appreciate it because yes, it is, and pregnancy is definitely not easy for all the moms out there. It's definitely not easy. So I'm definitely grateful for everything to be smooth for so far for two pregnancies. But um yes, outside of that, welcome in again to episode 13 of the Daily App. Um I mean, I feel kind of lame in general when people say I'm your host, so I'm definitely not gonna do that. But definitely welcome in. Make sure you guys follow on all platforms as well because I try to be versatile. A lot of different platforms, the content is different. So some people, you know, follow the TikTok. The TikTok content is a lot different than the YouTube content. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds in several different places. I'm also on X. I created this little banner thing down here. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Not bad, not too shabby. I like it. Follow all the different platforms because you really never know what's going to happen with these people, with these elitists, and how they shut down these social media apps with the flip of a switch. I know y'all remember when TikTok was shut off for like 4 days. Nobody had any update on anything. So I appreciate all the love as usual on all the platforms. Hit the like button, hit the sub button. We're on the road to 21K. I appreciate all the support along the way, and we are growing very fast. And update this week, we are working on a collab with Mitch. I forgot to call him back. We're working on a collab with Mitch. He got some stuff going on with, if y'all remember, Brian Hartball mentioned him and everything with the random lawsuit. Mitch is mentioned in there and stuff like that. So he got a lot of stuff going on with that. So obviously respect that privacy, give him some time to do what he got to do because obviously that's crazy. So we are figuring out something. Just stay tuned. We are back collabing with the Black Line Brief. This week it will be Thursday or Friday, one or the other. So stay tuned to that. The last time, the Black Line Brief and myself collabed, it was amazing, great time, had a fun time. I think we were chopping it up for about 2.5, 3 hours. Everybody was loving it as well. So we're gonna collab again this week, Thursday or Friday, one or the other. He left it up to me, so I have to figure out my schedule Thursday or Friday, but it'll happen one or the other. And outside of that, everything is gonna be pretty normal. But today we got a couple of different things to hit on. As y'all saw in the title or in the thumbnail, we'll be talking about the Kirk love story. And how a lot of things change very fast, because I'll be honest, it is quite sad watching the young Kirks get married, because man, they seem like they loved each other. You know what I mean? Not that they didn't. I'm sure she was able to turn that side on and love him, but he genuinely had love for her, based on what she presented to him, meaning he didn't really know the real her. Um, and so it's sad. And we were gonna go through quite a few of it today, and go back in the past a little bit on when they first met. And then we're gonna start seeing things change. Obviously, it won't be super close together as far as the timeline. We're gonna jump around a little bit, but that's what we'll definitely be talking about today for the most part. Now the beginning. Let me see. Thank you again. Thank you again. I appreciate y'all considering the notifications. Definitely hit those notice. Hit the notifications. That way you can definitely be alerted on when the live's about to start, when the live is scheduled, when the video drops, because I'm versatile now. I Candace and Baron and all these top people, they do what they do. However, we going live and we dropping regular videos throughout the week. It's on both. And we on TikTok and we on X. And we ain't got a team. This is solo dolo over here. You know what I mean? So turn the notifications on for sure. But I do appreciate it. Sending love. Thank you. Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate it. Yeah. Jack. I mean, if you got a toddler boy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Toddler boys ain't nothing to play with. Oh my gosh. That's why, it's been times. I think y'all probably remember that. There was one night where I was supposed to be live and I was asleep and I woke up like 40 minutes late. Bro, my son be killing me throughout the day. Well, during the week he be at school, but in the afternoon when he get out of school, running and gunning until it's time to go to sleep. Them boys is crazy. July, make sure the baby is hydrated. Dehydrated can start preterm labor. Definitely, you are right. My first son was he was also very, very hot summer when he was born. So yeah, definitely on top of it. Definitely on top of it. Republic Tea Room, what's going on? Now to start off today in this episode, I wanted to recap. I feel like we should always touch base on everything that's going on, as far as our principles of the podcast world when it comes to this Charlie Kirk investigation. So started with obviously Candace and Baron. So today, Candace went into some interesting things about the Charlie Kirk show itself. And honestly, I did not think of it in the way that she presented it, because I also was kind of confused on why they were holding on to the Charlie Kirk show so tight. It was kind of weird. We all were like, why are they going live from a dead man's page and all that. But it makes sense when she broke it down, like Andrew Covett has a piece of the pie. This person got a piece of the pie. Everybody got a piece of the pie. So it made way more sense to me, because at first I really didn't understand it. But then I was like, wow, that's what's going on. That's why Andrew Covett is continuing the Charlie Kirk show. That's why he's still the host. That's why they don't care about the views. Now, I've always been talking about these folks' pyramid scheme and the way that they be funneling money and all. I've always been hip to that always. So Charlie Kirk show not having any views is not gonna matter. It's the same thing when it comes to Turning Point USA. I've said it 1,000 times. Turning Point USA is not ran by the students. It's a student ran organization that don't need students. The students is what keeps them above criminal activity. If they take away the students, Turning Point USA is a criminal organization. The students being around and them throwing God around keeps the pressure off of them, right? I wouldn't even consider it pressure because I feel like they're doing things in broad daylight that everybody should be questioning. But the Turning Point USA don't need the students at all. You take away the students, I promise you, Turning Point USA is still going to be receiving hundreds of millions of dollars because it has nothing to do with the students. The students aren't making them hundreds of millions. And it's the same thing with the Charlie Kirk show. Salem Media, whoever, they don't care about the views. These are the different ways that these overseas entities funnel their money into our country. I've been saying that. And that's exactly what they were doing with Turning Point USA. That's why Turning Point USA has 1,000,001 turning points underneath Turning Point USA. There's no reason for a nonprofit to have 5 nonprofits underneath it. There is no reason for it at all. There's no reason for Turning Point USA to be the umbrella, and then you got Turning Point Faith, Turning Point Action, Turning Point Frontlines. Am I missing? It's so many more. There's no reason for that. You're a nonprofit. And again, I worked for a cult on accident. So that's how it works. I know I saw why these people do that, right? I saw all of that. So I already kind of was hip to the whole we got this entity and then we're gonna make 1,000,001 entities underneath it. I've already been privy to that. So that was the first thing I noticed when I started trying to figure out who Turning Point was. And it was like, yeah, there's Turning Point USA, and then there's Turning Point Faith, Turning Point Action, Turning Point this, Turning Point that. And I was like, oh, they money laundering. They embezzling. They funneling money. That's easy. I don't even need to work for the feds to figure that out. That's easy. But when Candace broke down the Charlie Kirk show today and going through the Salem Media and how they're able to still be floating around even though they have no views, I didn't even think about the fact that Andrew Kovet has stake in the company. That didn't even cross my mind. I was just still thinking about them folks over there doing what they do. I keep forgetting Andrew Kovet is public enemy number 1. This man is the true snake, right? He in the flesh, something that we can actually see and attest that he is a snake. The other people, the other entities, the other country, we know that they are snakes. We know what they do, but we can't truly label anybody at the moment. We can't single anybody out right now. But Andrew Kovet, we can literally bring up all the proof in the world that he is a snake. So I had no idea. I didn't even think of Andrew Kovet having stake in Charlie Kirk's company. That was sick. Now, moving on a little bit down the line of Candace's show, when she goes into Mikey McCoy, I was waiting for this one, right? So she talks about Mikey McCoy, and she brings in at the very end. Sorry, I'm not gonna lose my train of thought. I just want to keep up with the comments. Blindly Gab is awake tonight. Wow. Let's go. That right there, you definitely deserve that round of applause. Sleep every night, always joining late. Tasha, what's going on? Feel like they're reaching new voter and through the schools and churches. Yeah, Turning Point USA is extending their fraudulent activity through all of these different places. Absolutely. Churches, schools, all that. BLB raid. What's going on? Glenn Coco back. Sweet Sassy. I feel like we got a good rhythm going on. I like how we got Candace and then sometimes Baron comes right after that. Then we got Black Line Brief, and then I'm coming up right after Black Line Brief. I like how we got that going. That's a smooth little rhythm. But going back to Candace, so she brought up Mikey McCoy at the very end. She talks about it a little bit, and actually I'll play it since Candace has a friendly YouTube channel, so I don't really have to mind worry about being copyrighted and stuff like that. So let's play Candace's. I think she titled the chapter "Message to Mikey McCoy," and then let's talk about it. Let's see. Here we go. We get this pulled up real quick. All right. Let's hear what Candace had to say about her message to Mikey McCoy. I think she said something first to somebody. I forgot who the first person was, but then Mikey McCoy is next.
Owens. Okay, so a couple of things. I just randomly have something that came to my mind that has been bothering me for a long time that I just want to also share and get off my chest. The hospital, the day that I got a phone call from the hospital, and the day that my husband was called separately, he spoke to Justin Strife. I was speaking to Andrew Colbat. I was because I speak to Tucker Carlson. He's someone that I look up to in media, and he was in the like Charlie, no neck left. I thought, and I just now he looked really good in the front. That now that's because known in the story, and I want to was the good guy. Here is what I will say about Mikey McCoy. I always knew and did not share and intentionally pushed on Mikey McCoy because I sensed right away that something was weird about all the adjectives they kept giving him. The amazing Mikey McCoy, the stupendous Mikey McCoy. Mikey was amazing. Erica said that in her first speech. Mikey was so amazing, amazing. They couldn't say his name without an adjective. And what it sensed to me was that actually Mikey wasn't sure about what they had done. They were trying to constantly reassure him that it was okay. This is how I feel. This is my opinion. Allegedly. I feel that Mikey wasn't sure. They lied when they said Mikey flew into action and did all. That's not true. It's all not true. Nope. Mikey was an absolute mess at the hospital. Mikey did not suddenly see and call and direct things. I mean, we even know that. Justin Strife told me to my face, he was the one that organized all the planes. So they had come up with this narrative that Mikey suddenly, under a rush of adrenaline, was like organizing everything. And he was just a soldier. That's not true. Mikey was a mess. According to my sources, Mikey was a mess at the hospital. And so what I think it is that they constantly said that because they perceived him as the weak link. They perceived him as being the only one who had a soul. And he should have had a soul because, you know what, Mikey, if you're watching the show, Charlie loved you. And whatever it was, that little flutter that made you realize how wrong what you did was, go with that. I sense you're probably in some sort of a spiritual purgatory. They're telling you, offering you the world. I have, it on good notice that you're talking about real estate deals and they're telling you money, 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 money. You can't take it with you when you go. Hell is real. Hell is real. And I don't know, I just feel like I have it on my heart to say that to you. Maybe that's why I woke up in a state of just feeling like a message needed to be delivered. But Mikey, you don't have to keep secrets for bad people. You don't. And I think that you were the only one who had a soul. Maybe you're scared. I don't know. Allegedly, this is my opinion, but I do want to say that to Mikey. Anyway,
so I might have missed a piece of it, but she basically saying that Mikey has Mikey has a conscience. A lot of people have been saying that over the weekend, like, oh, Mikey's guilt is eating at him a little bit and he's coming around and all that stuff. And that's why they had to kind of guide Mikey in this process of being a criminal and try to help him through it and let him know that he'll be okay. So that's why they gassed him up. And what Mikey's definitely not innocent. I'm seeing y'all comments. We on the same side Same side. Mikey is not innocent. Mikey is for sure guilty. Um, I think every thumbnail I have, maybe not every, but most thumbnails I have that involve Turning Point employees, you'll see them in a jumpsuit because that's how I feel about them. So Mikey McCoy in the live yesterday, if you go look at the thumbnail, he's in a jumpsuit. Miss Shalami will forever be in a jumpsuit. She is not coming out of that jumpsuit. I might give other people a little bit of grace, not grace, but I may forget. Miss Shalami don't slip my mind. I will make sure she's in a jumpsuit on every single thumbnail. But with Mikey McCoy, I think Candace's angle, because I'm glad that she was finally able to hit on it. Because I kind of was, I wouldn't necessarily say annoyed, but I definitely was a little thrown off at what she provided Friday with this, I mean, Thursday with Mikey being the snitch. And then we went Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday without even talking about it. Like, how did this happen? Can we get some more context? Something. So I definitely was a little confused and still confused because I don't know why Mikey would tell Candace at the end of the day still. The next thing I would say is that from what Candace just said, I think she is taking the approach of like, it's not my job to protect you, so I'm outing everybody and bump it. If something happens, something happened. Bro, what is happening right now? Can y'all hear me, YouTube family? What is going on? What was that? I don't know. I don't know. Something we good. We back. What I was saying was I think Candace's approach is that she's saying basically it's up. It's up, and I don't really care what happens. Not in a way that she's hoping something happens, but I think she's like, yeah, Mikey, you did what you did, and I'm putting it on Front Street. So it is what it is. And that's her approach with it. I don't mind it. I'm getting more context now, so I appreciate that. But that was one of my things that I was talking about over the weekend and in our live yesterday is that like if something happens to Mikey McCoy, then why would we want that? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we don't want something to happen to people, especially when we know who we're up against. So it didn't really make sense for me for her to, for Candace to out Mikey like that. But I think the objective or what I'm at least getting, the vibes that I'm picking up on is that she pretty much like, make your move, Mikey. I just forced your hand in a way. So now you have no choice, or you do have a choice. Either come clean or everybody gonna know whose side you really on. And you're just gonna be walking with that guilt. You're gonna have to be walking next to Andrew Covett every single day. You're gonna have to be walking next to Miss Shalami every single day. And that's just gonna be something you have to deal with. That's not my problem. Or come clean, come go to Candace, which I don't think would be a great idea if I was Mikey. Go to a lawyer, figure something out. So I think this was a play to force Mikey's hand because Mikey is the weakest link out of all of them. So which I can see that. I can agree with that as well. I can get down with that. I didn't know what her approach was because she dropped this and went radio silent for days, but I can get down with that. I can get down with that. But Mikey is for sure guilty. But we are all on the same page. Um, let's see. Candace, you and Baron in order of my favorites. Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate it. It is an honor to be next to some legends up there. Baron, I mean, shoot, he's had the fastest growing podcast and YouTube channel I've ever seen in my life. For somebody that, he has old videos and stuff, but technically he just got on the scene late last year. So like that's crazy. But I seen somebody comment a couple minutes ago saying like this Charlie Kirk situation really did bring everybody together, and it did. It did. Unfortunately, he's not here anymore, but I think for the better, or I guess what some good that came out of it is that it really did bring everybody together and at least opened everybody's eyes to realize, these people work for the same boss, left and right. And I think it's funny because we, after Charlie, we all were kind of on the same page of it ain't left versus right, it's us versus them. Because if they were able to take out somebody like Charlie Kirk, they'll take out anybody. We were able to realize that that was very heavy on us. It probably still is heavy on us, knowing that these people would take out their own citizens to shut us up. And you still will get on X and see his wife and other people talking about midterm voting. And it's like, you can't be for real right now. There's no way that you sitting here trying to tell me gas is at a crazy all-time high. Where is that? Gas is at a crazy all-time high. It just it just grew 10 cents in 3 days for me. I just got gas 3 days ago. 3 days later, it's 10 cents higher. First off, why am I filling up again 3 days later? I don't even go nowhere. I'm very local. Somehow that gas is gone in 3 days. I'm filling up again and it's 10 cents higher. If it does that, if it goes up 10 cents higher every 3 days, then that means it would do it 10 times. 10 cents times 10 is $1. So it would go up $1 a month at this rate. You have the e-files going on. You got this White House stage shooting. You got Trump lying every single day. And you got these folks, Miss Shalami, Andrew Covett, Turning Point USA, everybody that you can think of that's on that side have the audacity. They have the audacity to go to the internet and tell us to go vote Republican for the midterms. Tyler Boyer would tweet, "We're losing the midterms, everybody. We're losing the midterms. I don't want to go vote. What are you talking about? That's the last thing on my mind. Y'all have been the most lying, conniving type of people I've ever seen in my life. Both sides, but obviously more on the right lately because that's where Charlie came from. So we're starting to see them, they're kind of being dismantled amongst each other. We're seeing the right be split down the middle. Now they're going at each other. That hasn't really happened. But these folks have the audacity to come out and say, go vote. As if Charlie ain't just, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Erica, Republican Tea Room, thank you for the donation. Yep, Erica said on the information Candace dropped to her in December 2025 that Mikey said Andrew should be looked into. Mike Turek. Oh, Frank Turek. Okay, Frank Turek was especially hyping Mikey up. Mikey seems nervous and guilt-ridden every time he talks. He does. I 1000% agree. And I mean, shoot, Erica's been sitting on information forever. I believe Erica knew Charlie texted Andrew Covett that he felt like they was gonna get him, and I think Andrew Covett told Erica. The reason I think that is because I feel like any normal person, if they were to find out that their husband or spouse texted somebody that was one of your employees or one of your affiliates, the hell you would bring them every day, you wouldn't be able to look at them if you knew that your husband texted them saying they were going to kill me and they never told you. You had to find out from Candace, out of all people. You had to find out from Candace. Any normal person would give Andrew Kovach hell. Somebody would have had to stop me from taking him out if I knew that you knew this whole time that my spouse was in trouble and they chose to text you. Now that's a whole nother conversation on why Charlie didn't text Erica. That's a whole nother conversation. But I'm saying from Erica's perspective, I'm like, listen, you got your own problems to worry about because why your husband ain't texting you. Number two, though, is his best friend or somebody that he trusts received the same message and they didn't tell you. So I think she knew because there's no way that she didn't know and she's able to be around Andrew Kovach every day. Unless, the conspiracy is starting to grow to the point where we're starting to, I guess, maybe assume or speculate that Andrew Kovach is way more powerful than we think and he's the one controlling and sabotaging Erica. Maybe Andrew Kovach is the one that has some blackmail on somebody. I don't know. I don't know. Um, yeah, man, y'all know I will get the yapping because it's already 33 minutes and I haven't showed a single clip besides Candace. Harry and Baron be getting me going. We're not even gonna recap Baron. Baron is deep diving into Andrew Kovach and some more snaky things about Andrew Kovach. The last thing I'm gonna say though is this Andrew Kovach deep dive should have been happening. It should have been happening. Everybody that's been talking about Jay, just be patient, bro. It's chess. It's a game of chess. I'm gonna need y'all to apologize because here we are months later talking about Andrew Kovach. I personally don't want to hear. I'm not gonna say I don't want to hear about Andrew Kovach because if it's new information, I'm always willing to be like, hear it and then be like, dang, that's crazy. But we were supposed to do this months ago with Andrew Kovach. We were supposed to do this months ago. We were supposed to do this in the Bride of Charlie series when we were leading up to uh, Miss Shalami, Andrew Kovach, Tyler Boyer, all knowing each other, and then meeting Charlie Kirk. Like we were getting to that, and then we were getting to the present day. We were almost there, and then it just vanished. Right. So the Andrew Kovach deep dive was supposed to happen. It's been so many things that Andrew Kovach has done. So many things. So the fact that now we have Baron going through deep dives on Andrew Kovach for the next 2 days. Look, I love it. I'm just saying this should have happened 2 months ago. That's all I'm saying. Now, on to brighter news, I would say, is I'm gonna get through some of these videos a little bit. And then I'll probably do a lot more comments towards the end. That way we can at least have some good sleep tonight. We stayed up last night a long time. So I don't want to do 2 back-to-back nights of staying up for a long time. Last night we stayed up to like 1:15 or something like that. So we can go through this show today so that way we can have a great sleep. Where my notes at? Okay, so shifting gears a little bit more positive before we get right back into the criticizing. But Erica and Charlie Kirk, Erica Franz Vey. I don't know if she's deserving of the Kirk last name, but the way they met was very surface level. It's sweet. It's sweet. Everything seems genuine. It seems like she's happy, he's happy. And when you look at this with the information that you know now, right? Hindsight's always 2020. But I think even when you watch this video, you might not even be able to see behind those eyes of Erica. You might not even be able to see behind it. It truly seems like she had a soul in this very moment. Now, she could have been a great actor. I don't know. That's not up for me at the moment. But you can see she seemed like a very sweet, honest person. Obviously, she already was assigned to Charlie. But I want to play this video really quick. I might put it at like 1.5. Let's do 1.25 playback speed. But this is how Charlie and Erica met and got married. I may not play the whole video, but I just wanted to give y'all a little glimpse on how happy they were before clearly things hit the fan. Why do I always do that?
I met Erica for the first time at this office, Turning Point USA office.
So we met at the office opening, the Turning Point headquarters office opening, the first one, August 2018. And I had no idea what to expect because I was coming into the office from the standpoint of they were potentially going to hire me.
And I knew of Erica. I saw Erica. And we had a very brief meeting at the office. And then I had my first conversation with Erica.
He'll tell it differently. So I'll tell you from my side. I was in the Hamptons. I get a random DM on my phone.
The Hamptons is crazy. I don't think y'all like you got money if you in the Hamptons. And she talking about she already was in the Hamptons. But before when she got the DM from Charlie, yeah, she was already in the Hamptons. I don't know what we already can't even figure out what she was really doing for work. And she in the Hamptons already before she met Charlie. And again, I'm aware that she's probably a great actor because she was preparing for this role. So when I see her right now smiling and giddy and all that stuff, again, I think it's refreshing because this is not the evil side of Erica, right? You can see the giddy side a little bit. And even though it's a little fake, it's still more comforting because I think we're so used to seeing the crazy eyes and the looks and all that stuff. So I'm not by all means saying she seems so innocent, and I genuinely believe that she just met him out of, I'm not saying nothing like that. She definitely was a sign. I'm just saying it's refreshing to see her smile and be and at least look normal.
Zero service when I'm out there, and all of a sudden this DM flashes up and it's like, Charlie Kirk DM'd you, because it's so Charlie. August 31st, 2018. Hey, shoot me a text and gave me his number. I didn't respond for a few days.
I Instagram messaged her and said I urgently needed to meet with her. And she said, why? And it was partially a job interview and also partially something else.
So when I eventually messaged him back via text, I was like, hey, nice to officially meet you again.
Listen, y'all funny. TikTok family and YouTube family, y'all are funny because y'all are saying y'all see right through her even in this right here. I mean, that's 100% possible. All I'm saying is it's refreshing to see her smile for once. That's it. That's it. I'm not falling for it. It's just refreshing to see her smile for once and not look evil. She hasn't done the eye thing yet. So that's all I'm saying. She might do the eye thing soon, but I don't think she's gonna do it this video.
What did you want to talk about? Because it was so just random. And he was like, hey, I'm coming into town into New York City. Let's meet at Bill's Burgers. Mind you, I've lived in Manhattan now for about 5 years. I've never eaten at Bill's Burgers before. So that I guess was a sign like, let's take an adventure tonight for dinner and go find Bill's Burgers and meet your future husband that you have no idea is about to meet your future husband.
I want y'all to remember that comment of the Bill's Burgers thing, because I guess we're gonna have to get to it, because she talks about, she kind of downplays Bill's Burgers in the CBS interview with Barry Wise. In the CBS interview, she's like, God had to blanket Charlie because he had to blanket Charlie as a job interview, because if a random guy just asked me on a date to Bill's Burgers, God knew I would have said no. Y'all just heard it out of her mouth. She was head over heels for this Bill's Burgers date. She said, I'm looking forward to it. She's very optimistic that the interview is going to turn into something else at Bill's Burgers. But yet in the CBS interview, she literally downplayed Bill's Burgers as if any guy asked her to Bill's Burgers, she would immediately say no.
And go find that I guess was a sign like, let's meet at Bill's Burgers. Mind you, I've lived in Manhattan now for about 5 years. I've never eaten at Bill's Burgers before. So that I guess was a sign like, let's take an adventure tonight for dinner and go find Bill's Burgers and meet your future husband that you have no idea is about to be your future husband.
And so then we had a great time, and it was about 15 minutes in, I quickly pivoted away from wanting to hire her to wanting to date her. And now we know how that worked quite well.
He got there first only because he was coming back from Fox and he kind of beat me there. And I got out of my taxi and we get our table, we sit down, and he orders. The thing that I love though is he was so sweet to the waitress. So that was something that I immediately noticed, that he was like really kind to them. And we ordered our food, and then that's when the grilling started happening. Like that's when the interview process started happening. So I'm like, okay, this is a legit interview. Like let's go. I'm glad I had my coffee. Like I'm ready to debate you about Aristotle and Socrates.
Mind you, she didn't even, I don't know if she's going to say it in this video, but she didn't even need the job. I think she might get to it, but when Charlie says, I'm not going to hire you, I think she was like, I don't even need this job anyway. So why are you there? Why are you there if you didn't need a job anyway? First off, who lives in New York going to the Hamptons as a normal person? You're going to the Hamptons already. And something made you want to go work for a nonprofit. I mean, her whole life is around nonprofits, so that's probably not crazy to her. But just based off of the things that she was into leading up to this very moment, you wanted to go work for a nonprofit to get people to start voting for Republicans? Doesn't make any sense. But I agree. I think someone said it in the comments, I think someone said Cabot Phillips was setting her up for this or whatever. I think Tyler Boyer was the one that gassed up this whole thing. I think Tyler Boyer was prepping both of them at the same time. That way they can go down. That way Charlie can have the confidence to ask her on a date, and that way she can be prepared for what Charlie might do. Whatever the case is, I think Tyler Boyer set up the whole thing, because I just refuse to believe that Charlie Kirk, who only had one girlfriend in his entire life, that wasn't even all that crazy of a relationship, all of a sudden, sorry, I didn't want to go that far. All of a sudden, he got some confidence. Y'all probably know what I was going to say. All of a sudden, he got some confidence and just asked the girl randomly that's on an interview that he's with, just ask her randomly to be my girl. I'm not going for that. Charlie ain't do that. Y'all see the way he just looked when I just played this video. No offense to bro. I'm just saying, bro wasn't having it like that to just know, oh, I got her in the bag. I'm not buying that, bro. Tyler Boyer gassed Charlie up and got him confident. He probably said, Erica been talking about you. She been talking about you. She just been, you know what I mean? He definitely gassed Charlie up to know that, bro, it's a guarantee yes. It's a guarantee yes. She's not going to turn you down. Shoot, Charlie, for real. Like, she even said that if you were to ask her, she going to say yes. She been waiting for you to ask her. Oh, really, Tyler? Really? Oh, like, just gassing him up on some, like, middle school stuff.
And you want to talk about theology? Let's do it.
Well, I never met anyone quite like her. I remember I called Tyler and I said he's going to have to find talent somewhere else. And whatever opening he thought she would fill, that was not going to work. And Tyler was trying to coach me down because he said that she was way out of my league. He's still right, by the way.
So after we got through literally half of the Constitution, going through why I'm living in New York and how I shouldn't be living in New York, and what my 5-year plan is, what success looks like to me, what I studied in college, why, just like every topic you could imagine that is close to Charlie Kirk's heart is what we discussed and went through when it was like 3.
I wonder what Erica said when Charlie asked her, why are you living in New York? And how are you living in New York? I wonder what her response was. Because it wasn't anything that he was looking for in a woman. We're going to get to a little bit on things about what to look for that they talked about together. But if she was truthful about why she was living in New York and what she was doing, Charlie don't even like women like that. She was drinking all the time. That's what she used to do. Her life leading up to Charlie, her life was outside. She was outside. But then yet when they have these interviews together, she tells all of these girls and ladies in the room, if you want to get yourself a Charlie, then you got to be in the Bible. You got to be in the word. You got to prepare. You got to be the woman that your man wants. Erica, that was never you. What are you talking about? That was never you. You was outside. I'm not gonna go to the extent of like, how many dudes you was dealing with, but you definitely was rostered up, bro. Let's just keep it a buck. You had a roster. 5 years leading up to Charlie, you had about 5 of them, right? And that's just boyfriends. We're not even talking about if there was anything in between. You was drinking in between. You was drinking probably every year of that. You was on dating shows. You was clubbing. All the things that she swear up and down that men is not gonna like this, blah, blah, all that. You was doing that and you pulled Charlie because you lied. So don't get on the stage and then tell women, if you want to pull a Charlie, this is what you got to do, because that's not what you did. What you did was lie, ma'am. That's what you did. Because if Charlie knew this information, bro, I promise you, Charlie would not want Erica. We're going to hear it. I'm going to play just a little bit just to see if this gets anywhere. But you're going to hear it in some other videos of the type of women Charlie don't like.
2.5 hours, and they were starting to close up, and he was finished with his burger, just sat there. And I'm like looking around like, okay, did I get the job? Like, what's going on? I don't need the job, but did I get it? What's going on? And he goes,
I don't need the job, but did I get it? Now, again, she looks happier here. So, evil eyes ain't there. Maybe it was a thing that as soon as Charlie was eliminated, the flesh just took over and she is just fully Satan. I don't know. Maybe that was their sacrifice, and now that entity has fully taken over her. Maybe, but here she's still there. There's something there, right? She's clearly lying right now, and obviously this is post Romania, so she definitely was a bad person. Not taking that away from her at all. But she literally just said it. She just said, I don't need the job, but did I get the job? Who told you to go on this interview? If you don't need the job, who told you about this nonprofit called Turning Point USA that's going to help 1,000 people or more than that, but just pretty much go around and get people to vote Republican? Who told you to do this job or to go on this job interview that said that you was a good fit? If you just said out your mouth you didn't need the job,
no, I'm not going to hire you. Or just sat there, and I'm like looking around like, okay, did I get the job? Like, what's going on? I don't need the job, but did I get it? What's going on? And he goes, I'm not going to hire you. It's like, okay, well, thank goodness I didn't need the job because I'm already doing stuff here in Manhattan. He goes, I'm going to date you. And I kind of just stood, I froze. I mean, wouldn't you? I literally froze. I was just like, okay, not.
That was a question for the ladies. She said, I just froze. Wouldn't you? What would y'all do? I mean, you might freeze. It might be like an awkward freeze. It might not. It's not going to be a bubbly, I got butterflies in my stomach, flirtatious freeze. You're in Bill's Burgers on a job interview, and your boss, your future potential boss, just scrapped the whole interview and asking you on a date. What? Said call HR immediately. Oh my gosh. Facts. Like, sir, excuse me? Then again, no offense to bro. No offense to Charlie Kirk. But if you look at bro, that's that and compare it to where she was at in life and her roster. This is not somebody that I just froze because I was just so shocked and stunned that somebody like Charlie Kirk wanted me. Let's just be real. He was the nerdy guy in the politics. Yeah, he was tall. And I know how women work. They're tall. When guys are tall, somehow they get, they get bonus points, even though it might not be all that. Tall kind of helps them out. But I don't know about this particular version of tall. Because Charlie Kirk was a very slender man at 6'5", into politics, nerdy guy with a little with the I don't know what they call that hairstyle, when he just had the froofy hair right here, and it was weird. But that's not somebody that Erica was attracted to. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. I'm not. Charlie just wasn't, he ain't had that swag yet. When the money started flowing in, the suits started to change. Charlie Kirk became CK. That's different. In these last couple years, yeah, Charlie Kirk was having that, right? You could tell he got a little confidence. He walk around with his chest out. He was 6'5" with the nice 500,000 tailored suit. That's different. Not the Bills Burgers, Charlie. I'm not buying
this at all. And I was like, do you want to how about we just be friends first? Like, see where it goes.
And I told her I had enough friends.
Sorry, not this Charlie. Not this Charlie. I'm not buying it. Charlie, I love you to death. But not this one, my boy. Not when you looking like this. And we all went through our time, bro. We all hit that year when you finally figure out, okay, cool, this is my look. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We all been through that in life. Charlie didn't know what his look was yet. I don't know what this is right here. I don't know what he got going on up here. This wasn't the look yet. And it's cool. But I'm not buying it. Erica don't go from dating athletes left and right. Then this is the person that she just fell out of the chair for at Bill's Burgers. Okay.
And that I didn't want to be friends with her, so
y'all get the story. That's the Charlie Kirk love story, how they met. Doesn't really make any sense. We already know that we've poked some holes in that story on how they met, all the times that Erica said she went out to Israel. She went to oh shoot, I didn't say y'all name in a mean way, so hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. That girl said she went out to Izzy to find herself a husband. I just can think of so many other ways to meet men in life. She chose do you know the type of thirst you have to be like to leave the country? Right? We first off, we know she's lying, right? She didn't go over there to meet her husband. She went over there to run into Charlie Kirk. I just couldn't believe she laid it out that way. I went to Jerusalem for the sole purpose of meeting a husband. What? That's weird. That's weird. What about all the 50 states over here? What about the men over here is different than the men over there? That's weird to say that. But she was lying. We knew that. Now, I want to play. Where we at? 56 minutes. I want to play a Q&A that you guys have probably saw before. And I want y'all to see the different facial expressions Charlie Kirk makes.
Are you ready to profit?
I want y'all to see
this book
how
reveals why silver is.
The chemistry ain't there. And it's kind of bothering Charlie. And I want y'all to also pay attention to Erica changing her answers to say what Charlie wants to hear versus how she truly feels. And she can pick up when Charlie's like, and she'll change her answer. Y'all probably saw this.
the most underrated asset today and how to invest before the world catches up. I've read silver is the
Their significant other on an app, but the likelihood they found on an app, and all of a sudden, is he going to lead type of whole different
They
topic?
consider kids to being
a nuisance,
a burden.
a nuisance. But no, it's made, and but also too, you have to understand, and that also goes back to how'd you know it was time to get married? Understanding your biblical role as a wife and a mother, and knowing that you're ready to step into that motherhood, that being a wife, and that type of era of your life, if you will. So
Here's a good one. What traits should conservative women be looking for in men and vice versa?
ooh. I know one of the questions deals with, do you want to, I was going to go off one of the questions that talked about the apps, but I think women for looking for their future spouse needs to hone in on the fact, is he going to lead you closer to Christ or further away? Make sure you're equally yoked. That's so important. Make sure that you are not looking for a man who, or you know, the men that are just, they're grabbing the low hanging fruit, meaning on the apps. Women get upset when they go on a date with a guy they found on an app and all of a sudden they ghost them, or all of a sudden they're just not communicating with them anymore. To me, it's because the guy didn't have to hunt for them. Not saying they have to hunt for a woman, but they do have to seek out a wife. And since they didn't have to, they made it so easy on an app to just press.
I'm telling y'all, bunt whatever she talking about. You can listen to her. There's no reason to actually look at her when she's talking. Just look at Charlie throughout all of these responses.
It's a button. It's just a number in their head. Like, you want to be so much more than, I'm not saying apps are bad. I mean, they're not the greatest thing. I've had friends who did find their significant other on an app, but the likelihood, it's like the lottery, the likelihood of you finding your future husband or wife on an app.
I want y'all to know, look, I'm not, everybody has a past, right? But I'm telling you right now, the reason she keeps on saying get off the app, but I'm not condemning the app. I'm not saying you're a bad person for using the app, but don't use the app. That's because she used to be on the app. She used to be on the app. That's why she can't confidently say leave the apps alone. She said leave the apps alone. Then she wants to throw in there how she got 3 friends that use the apps. She can't say anything specifically about the app because she used to be on the app. I'm not saying to not use the apps because, I have a friend that used to use the apps, but you have to be a girl, you have to be a woman that can't be on the apps. You can't be on the apps. That's not what your future man wants. He doesn't want you to be on those apps. But I'm not saying you can't be on the apps. There's nothing wrong with the apps. Then what are you talking about then? That's because she used to be on the apps, bro. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. She's literally snitching on herself. I used to be on the apps, but I really don't know what to say that Charlie wants to hear because he probably doesn't know that I used to be on the apps. And she's going back and forth. And she's going to do that this entire time. We're not going to watch all 36 minutes of it. I'm only going to play a couple of times so you can see Charlie's like, lady, what are you talking about? You got something to tell me? Like, you can tell, you can see it in his eyes.
App is a lot less likely to happen. So that to say,
and 100%, it's nothing wrong at all with the apps. This is a weird world. It's not the same, right? It's hard to go outside and meet somebody here. I joke with my wife all the time. I'm like, listen, today, if I was single, I don't know how I would meet my future wife. In my world, it would have to be at Target, at Starbucks, at places like that, because I don't go out. I don't like to go out. I've never liked going out in my entire life, right? I think I did 3 years out of my 29 years of life was I a party goer. That was when I first got to college. Outside of that, I'm not somebody that likes to go out. I don't like doing that. So I'm not, and even when I do go out, even when I did go out, I'm not somebody that I go talk to 1,000,001 girls. I don't do that. I don't like doing all that. I just like staying to myself. I'm a homebody. I'm an introvert, believe it or not. I don't like doing all that. So I would have to meet my people's, my whoever at one of these stores that I go to. And that's, what are the odds of that happening? So even me personally, I met my wife through the app. Because it's one of those things that sometimes it's more convenient. It's like, cool. You can kind of figure out like, oh, cool. Like this person liked me because clearly we matched. So let's chop it up. I don't even have to, we can skip over the part of like, oh, was there eye contact? Should I go? Should I not go? Like, I don't like doing all that. Like, let's skip over that. Let's skip over the awkwardness. You know what I mean? So like, there's nothing wrong with doing that at all. But we all know that Charlie is very traditional. So like, he's like, no, you should walk up to your lady and tell her that you make 6 figures and you want to be you should be my wife one day. Like, that's what Charlie wants to hear. Unfortunately, he was very naive when it came to that because Erica fell in his lap. He thought Erica fell in his lap. So he was just naive to reality. So to him, yeah, he probably don't want to hear you used to be on the apps. That probably disgust him.
I'm so blessed. It's so hard because I literally won the jackpot with my husband.
Vice versa.
That's likewise. Really hard.
I will say women should look for men that have self-control, and men should look for women that are willing to submit, which is basically a non-feminist woman.
Right. But the whole topic of submission becomes, that word really lights people on fire.
It's biblical.
I know.
I mean, women
It's beautiful. Marriage in the right context is so beautiful because your husband will give up anything and everything for you in a healthy manner. But
dude, I'm not gonna lie, I could be being overcritical. Matter of fact, no, bump that. I'm not being overcritical. She is smooth right here. She is smooth. She was finna argue that submission word. She was finna argue it, but she was able to smooth right into the next conversation as if she was agreeing with him. She was finna argue about the submission word. Listen to her again.
They will bend. It's beard really lights people on fire.
It's basically a non-feminist woman.
Right. But the whole topic of submission becomes, that word really lights people on fire.
It lights her on fire. That's why she said, but. Because if you was agreeing with Charlie, you wouldn't say but. You would just agree with him and move on. Charlie says, submit to your man. She says, but. That word really lights people on fire. Oh, man. Submission is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? What?
It's biblical.
I know.
I mean, women
It's beautiful. Marriage in the right context is so beautiful because your husband will give up anything and everything for you in a healthy manner, but they will literally love you and honor you and cherish you above all, and put
she's just making up
all the noise aside and focus on wife, children, family.
Daisy says there were quite a number of questions.
He says, I didn't have to lure my wife into a fake interview. No, I don't know what Charlie had going on and what Erica had going on. That is not what I had going on. No fake interviews at Bill's Burgers for me. Even if I was getting interviewed by a woman at Bill's Burgers and she was giving me the googly eye, I would probably say, are you okay? Because aren't we supposed to be conducting business here? This is not the place for googly eyes. We at Bill's Burgers on the interview. So I don't know what Charlie and Erica had going on. I wish he was here to talk about everything all over again, because somebody lying.
On submission. So dive more into that.
Okay. For me as a wife, my biblical role is to be the helpmate to my husband. That does not mean I'm less than you. That does not mean that I am above you. Thank goodness. I love that you lead our home. I love that you are you are so intentional with your faith, and you are so intentional with just how you are as a father and a husband. But as a wife, I am to quote.
She just yapping. Let me go to the next most replayed. Let's see what this question is.
You have that opportunity to raise your babies, and so far where I huge blessing providing me to I have to and put them of like what will need to more
Talk to
yes and no
from
lead.
Do you hear a lot of struggle with that topic of submission from
men who are to carry the ground, and so the women come in and put those pants on because they feel like I have to be this role, I have to play this role. So too, I force prior and raise your babies like that. I think that they feel as if
women should be looking for or men should be looking for in women, but
you can.
We kind of talked about that though. Yeah,
I know what traits should conservative. What should be
this is one from that someone just emailed us in freedom@charliekirk.com.
Oh, really?
Erica, do you ever get hate from Charlie's work? How do you handle it? Charlie, do you ever feel guilt, or do you ever deal with guilt when Erica gets hate? No, I don't.
I honestly, this is how I know God made us for each other, because anytime I do get quote unquote hate, it's the same stuff you get. Like I don't even want to say, it's not even worth saying it or repeating the things that were called or the names that were called. But yes, I do. I've lost family members, I've lost friends, but I actually am kind of grateful that that's happened, because God has pruned my life in a way where I am surrounded in a circle now by people who love us, support us, pray with us, encourage us.
Small, mighty circle.
And that's what I would much rather have, a small, mighty circle than a massive one. It's the people be this role. I have to play this role, and I need to be. It's all about God. It always leads you. They lose that fire that they got at the altar,
which is basically a non-feminist woman,
right? But
1 second, I'm trying to find it.
If you work hard and apply yourself and obsess, you can make more money and you will be more.
But like you say, stop spending money on alcohol. Stop playing video games. I mean, you need to take care of yourself. And okay, but apps for dating service. You know what?
Variety.
Get some chickens in the backyard and looking like Adam Sandler and expect that you're
to find one.
But as women, you
get
right. I'm looking. Okay, but apps for dating service. You know what? Ask your local pastor.
What you prioritize is what you get.
Right. So I'm looking for my future spouse.
If you prioritize trying to find a spouse, you're much higher likelihood to find one.
But as women, you need to take care of yourself in order to, you can't be looking like Adam Sandler and expect that you're going to.
And men, just figure out ways to make more money. I don't want to say it's not that hard, but if you.
That was Charlie's fault right there. Not everything, but he prioritized. I'm not gonna say it was his number one priority, but when you got a woman like her in your face, and you boast about how much money you got and say, "Man, just make more money. Just make more money. Stop complaining. Just make more money." Boy, Erica is like, "Cha-ching. Thank you. Keep talking. I love it.
Work hard and apply yourself and obsess. You can make more money and you will be more.
But like you say, stop spending money on alcohol. Stop playing video games.
Invest in yourself. Learn more. Be scrappier. I don't want to say it's easy, because it's not necessarily easy.
Right.
But it's easy.
The chaos of having kids. Now we can go to the next question.
No, I totally agree. What is the next, Daisy?
I might not be good at love.
One of these questions.
Love him.
One of these questions is so good, and you could just see Charlie is so frustrated. And I think she tries to go to the next one. He tries to go to the next one. So I'm trying to find that one. YouTube got my timestamps messed up.
So much that, and understand and hold in your heart that God has put you guys together for a reason to have a beautiful family, and children are a blessing from the Lord. And don't forget your husband in the process, and don't forget your husband in the chaos of having kids. Now we can go to the next question.
No, I totally agree. What is the next? Daisy, I think, sent it.
What should be the order when it comes to God, kids, and marriage, and why? I just kind of
Well, it's God first, then marriage, then
Right.
kids.
Did y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just kind of
Well, it's God first, then marriage, then
Right.
kids.
God first, then marriage, then kids. Y'all remember that Glenn Beck interview with Erica on it, with Erica, and Erica found that note from Charlie, and he said priorities, kids. Now, obviously, we're not gonna like put God on the list. Charlie obviously knows that God is one. He put kids number one. Kids, family. Then I think he said children number one.
Consumer is one. It's the wrote on everything. He has papers everywhere, like this piece of paper. He wrote on everything. He has, for instance,
too.
like this piece of paper. He wrote on
Family, children. Can't see the bottom one.
everything. He has papers everywhere. This says it's the priorities. It says family, children, legacy, kids number one, versus
Family, children, legacy, kids number one.
children, legacy, kids number one.
Family, children, legacy, kids number one. That was Charlie towards the end of his life. And then listen to Charlie again right here prior to that day.
I just kind of
Well, it's God first, then marriage, then
Right.
kids.
God first, then marriage, then kids.
Versus careerism, consumerism, and loneliness. That's interesting.
And look at her face. He was fearful of being lonely. Ever met a happy married man that makes 6 figures to $1 million with 2 kids? He's fearful of being lonely.
Mm-hmm. It is. You get to choose the next one. These are great questions.
The study shows that married women with kids are the happiest. Why do you think that is? I mean, it's just nature. I mean, just becoming a CEO of a shoe company is not going to give you happiness.
Women have it so mixed up. You can have
Let me turn you
a
up, Miss
career
Shalani.
after
Let me turn you up. Hold on, you finna spit. Let me turn you up.
Just becoming a CEO of a shoe company is not going to give you happiness.
Women have it so mixed up. You can have a career after children, but if you try to have a career while you have your kids, there is no such thing as balance. That is such a myth. Gigi gets those little Montessori toys every month, and there's this one that has the buckets that balance. If I put something in one of those buckets, it's going to drop down. And if I try to balance them, both buckets are filled, which is not realistic. I can't spend half of the day doing one thing. I missed out half of that time with being with the kids. So like you have to choose where your heart has to be fully with the home. You have to make that decision on your own, but you can always, after your kids are in school or after they're in high school, you can always go back to work. You can always find a way to get back into the workforce. But if you miss those precious
first few years, that is so hard to make up because memories are so much more important than an added paycheck. I just,
I and look,
so
I agree, Erica. I do. I'm just trying to figure out where is this right now. That's what's going on. And here's my thing, because I do go back and forth, and I'm like, maybe she's controlled. Maybe she's controlled. But all the people want to hear is her acknowledging what she used to say. If she did that, I feel like that doesn't harm anything. This is the part where I'm like, who's controlling her? Because she makes it worse on herself. All she has to do is come out and say, I know what I said. You know, instead of coming out and saying, I wanted to meet the journalist face to face. I wanted to catch $100,000 private jet and go to that White House dinner and meet the journalist face to face. Instead of wasting time in those 8 minutes of her addressing the nation about BS like that, address the things that make up the reasons on why people don't like you. Just address that. And you actually might start having people to like you more. Address the fact that you used to say, take care of your kids. Don't worry about the boss babe jobs and all that. Just address it. That's it. I know what I said. It's just different. I'm trying. Even if you're guilty of doing something in this crime, and you know, this is the part where I'm like, I think the devil, somebody is just taking over, and they're not allowed to be nice and play both sides. They just go all in. Because I'm just trying to figure out, even if you was guilty and Erica is a part of this thing, which she is, in my opinion, I just don't understand why you can't come out and just address all of these things that could be put to bed. Everybody could just put to bed. Like when everybody's arguing over what you used to say on podcasts versus now, that can easily be controlled. That can easily be confronted and say, I know what I used to say. It has changed. Cool. You're on the record. You're on the record clearing it. But it's like the gaslighting. It's like the people that point this out. And it's just like, you're demonic for thinking that. You're demonic for saying that. How dare you? How dare you question me having a boss babe job and being away from my kids? How dare you? And it's like, Shawty, you said this in your own podcast. I'm just bringing your own podcast to the table saying, look, you used to say this. What happened? And this is just coming from a man. I can only imagine the women. I can only imagine the women, because that's what she tries to do. She tries to be the spokesperson for women. And we're going to play a little bit. What is it? Hour and 20. We're going to play a little bit of the CBS interview towards the end, because I just want everybody to see that the goal that I think that they were aiming for was her to be this relatable woman for the Republican Party. They needed somebody like that. You know, similar to like how Kamala was when she was running for president, and how she was trying to really relate to the women out there and was trying to really get their vote and just say, I'm just like you. That's what they wanted from her. They tried to play her as this, I'm just like you. Look, I got a single mom. She didn't even have a single mom. But look, I got a single mom. I didn't grow up with much. Mom had millions of dollars. She's in the Hamptons before she even met Charlie. We're not the same. But I think that's what they try to portray it as. And now she's going everywhere talking about women. This is what you need to do this and to do that. It's crazy.
It's how God has wired us, and it's our nature, which is to have children, not just have a bigger bank account. Next question. What means the most to Charlie coming home from the battlefield? What means most to Erica when Charlie is at home? I'm not quite sure I understand the question.
I understand the question. Charlie will text me and say, keep things boring.
Yes.
So anyways, deal with. I've watched my that are the
It collapses and breaks apart marriages more than anything else. And so if you have a husband that leads in it, and marriage, one reason why people cheat on their wives and why divorce happens is financial. It is number one. It is the number one thing. It collapses and breaks apart marriages more than anything else.
I'm trying to
And so
find
if
the
you have a
one
husband that
question that
leads
I
in
can
it,
just visibly
and
see
it's
Charlie
it's
annoyed
not
about.
that again, it comes easy to me, but guys, don't borrow money.
Oh my God.
You were never.
Why people cheat on their wives and why you got to get a skill, you got to get disciplined, you have to get.
there's a season. What is it, Miss Rachel? Oh, her voice kills me. Those shows for hours. Because college is a scam.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Oh, really?
Erica,
Yeah. What traits should conservative? What should be?
this is one from.
What?
Well, we kind of talked about that though. Yeah.
I know. What?
But-
You
Well,
can.
we kind of talked about it. Pick one.
Relationship and marriage.
Man, whatever. I'm gonna put the blame on me. I should have had it time stamped because this thing is confusing me now. But the last thing I'm gonna play is the CBS interview of Erica Kirk giving all the women out there giving y'all advice. Let's see. Let me get it pulled up really quick.
And I want to get on the
What
Egyptian plate.
annoys me about it is, you know, I get it. Charlie was a good guy, right? Charlie was a good guy. But nobody actually really knows, especially the public, right? Us regular people, we don't know Charlie. So when she's telling these women in order to attract a Charlie, I'm like, why are you saying that? They don't know who Charlie Kirk is. They don't really know him behind closed doors. So I feel like that's very misleading. That's terrible advice. In order to attract a Charlie, we don't know what Charlie did behind closed doors. He could have beat the hell out of you. We don't know that. We don't know that. So how can I be the best version of myself? Which, I mean, she hits on it a little bit. She lies about it, but she hits on it a little bit. But how about be the best version of myself? That way I can attract, whatever, because you attract who you are. Like whatever you're doing that's who you attract. Same thing with like friends. They always talk about how like you are who you hang out with. But listen to her advice to this young girl. And it's pretty ironic.
Because it's still a remaining breathing version of my husband, this Turning Point USA. So this organization is not just a company to me. And the staff and employees are not a career heck of to this part.
Erica, you and your family are in my prayers.
Thank you.
I'm a 26-year-old Christian woman living in New York City. I would like to stay here long term, but I wonder whether it's sustainable. Do you believe there's a place for women like myself in modern cities who care about having a career, but also marrying a like-minded Christian conservative man?
Well, yeah. So it just depends on where you're looking. If you're on the apps, I don't know if you're on the apps. I don't know if I'm not going to ask.
She was on the apps. Are y'all starting to pick up what I'm putting down? We on a totally different interview months later, and she's still over here reminiscing over them apps. She's still reminiscing over the apps. She on the apps, or at least she was on the apps.
Ask you your person. The apps. I don't know if you're looking. If you're on the apps, I don't know if you're on the apps. I don't know if I'm not going to ask you your personal journey. But what I will say is when I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
Roommate, come to the front. I need the roommate to come to the front. Because what she is insinuating is I was living vicariously through my roommate, right? I was watching her be a hoe. I was watching her go out and get drunk left and right. And I was seeing what she was doing as if she wasn't doing nothing but just in the room reading her Bible. But she gonna out her roommate as if her roommate was out doing her thing. I need the roommate to come to the front. I would personally. I'm like, hold on. Don't out me like you wasn't my wingman. Like we wasn't out doing two mans and two boy, whatever women call it. There's no way. But that's what she just did. She just threw her roommate under the bus and said, "Yeah, my roommate got down like that." And I saw how she was, and I was thinking in my head, I don't want to be like my roommate.
Somehow never dated here because I saw vicariously through my
And we know that's a lie. Well, she said never dated here.
roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than going. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way.
That's exactly how every time she talks too much, that's exactly how she feels. So I'm not saying I'm holier than y'all. That's exactly what you're trying to get at here, because you used to drink a lot. So there's no reason for you to bring up.
But holier or brunch with someone than going. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I
don't drink because I find it unproductive. Because not that I'm saying I'm like holier than y'all, bro. You don't have to do all that. I don't drink because I used to be an alcoholic. I mean, I'm speaking of her, just saying if she drank too much. I don't drink because I found out that I just didn't make good decisions when I was drunk. I don't drink anymore because it just has something to do with her. She could easily just say, I don't drink anymore because of my decision to do better. Why is she looping everybody else in? I don't drink because I'm not saying that I'm holier than y'all. What? Wait, how did we get here? And first off, drinking doesn't make you unholy or holy. I can go downstairs right now and sip a glass of wine if I want to. That don't mean all of a sudden I'm just not holy anymore. I'm in the comfort of my home. My family sleep. Everything's taken care of. I can drink a glass of wine if I want to.
I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. So it goes twofold here.
I need the roommate to come to the front. She is outing the roommate. She's out. I just want to be clear. She's outing the roommate for being, an HOE, basically. I saw her drinking with this guy, and then she would go to dinner with this guy, and then she would spend the night at this guy. That's crazy. How about you talk about yourself? Let's talk about yourself. Don't bring nobody else into this. Talk about yourself.
So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman to marry her with another. So it goes twofold here. So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie.
Everything she did in her life was not the type of woman Charlie wants. At all. Charlie talked about, I know I didn't get to play it and all that stuff, but Charlie talked about he's not a fan of drinking. You know what I mean? This is somebody that we kind of implied that he was a virgin. He didn't drink. And she had a roster. She drank constantly on dating shows, doing God knows what. And here she is telling this poor girl, this is what you do if you want to get you a Charlie. The most, I'm not even going to say it's unrealistic expectations, because Again, it's right message, wrong messenger. But you're lying to this girl because in her eyes, let's just say she does view Charlie as this perfect man. Eric is giving you terrible advice because that's not how she got Charlie. She lied about her entire life. Then you might get you a Charlie. If you're just trying to make sure we're being accurate here.
Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study? Did you tell your pastor?
Are you going to Bible study? Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study? She had a roster. She was on the apps. And she telling this poor girl, you ain't going to Bible study enough. Dog.
That you are going to church. You have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie. Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study? Did you tell your pastor that you are ready for the Lord to bring into your life the man that you've been praying for? You yourself need to be prepared for that man, and only you will know how to do that. Does that mean staying out and going out with the girls? I'm not saying you sit on your couch and all of a sudden he's going to knock on your door and be like, honey, let's rendezvous. Like, that's not how it happens. It's not. Granted, my situation was a little different. I wouldn't do it.
You went to a job interview.
Literally. So this is how good the Lord.
Listen to how she talks about Bill's Burgers. I don't even want to keep talking about how she's lying on the whole. It's so annoying, bro. It's just so annoying how she lies and how this little girl, I mean, not a little girl, but this young girl is just soaking it all in. Yes. Bible study more. Yes. Bible more. Yes. Tell my pastor that I'm ready for a man. When she didn't do none of that. She didn't do none of that. All she did was lie. Lie from start to finish. That's how you pull Charlie. So it's just annoying that this young girl is just soaking it all in. And she may have went home and said, dang, I don't go to Bible study enough to pull a Charlie. But I pause this so y'all can see. Y'all can hear. Listen to how she downplays Bill's Burgers right here.
It is. He knew that because I was not dating in New York City, he knew that in order for me to know that that was my man, he had to blanket Charlie as a job interview. Because if that went in, no joke, if he came to me and said, hey, let's go on a date to Bill's Burgers, I'd be like, I am so sorry. I thank you, but no, we're not doing this.
She just said in her other interview when she was a little bit more uppity, she just said in her interview that when Charlie said, let's go to Bill's Burgers for an interview, that's literally what he said. She was optimistic about it and said, I've never been to Bill's Burgers before, but hey, let's go on an adventure. Y'all remember that, right? I know I wasn't talking to myself or listening to the video by myself. In the other video, when she was all uppity and giggity, she was so excited about Bill's Burgers. I'm so optimistic. I can't wait to go to meet my future husband. Now on here, she's saying God knew to blanket Charlie as interview because if Charlie, this is the craziest part to me. If Charlie, without the title, asked her to Bill's Burgers, she said she would have said no because it's Bill's Burgers. But the guy doesn't change though. So I'm just confused. The guy is the guy. So if Charlie randomly asked you to Bill's Burgers and you would say no, then why would Charlie with a title ask you to Bill's Burgers and you said yes? He had to blanket Charlie as a job interview. You just downplayed the hell out of Charlie. That's discrediting Charlie. yeah, God knew not to have Charlie just randomly DM me and invite me to Bill's Burgers. God knew not to do that. God knew to trick me into thinking that it was an interview. He knew to just deceive me. What are you talking about? This is why I say this girl don't know. This girl, man, this girl, bro.
That was my, like, I am so sorry. I thank you, but no, we're not doing this. That was my mindset. I was not in that headspace. I just wasn't. But God will work in incredible ways when you surrender the pen for him to write your love story. And when you know that, look, if I remain in the jet stream of God's will, he will provide for me in ways I cannot even imagine. And that is my prayer for you. My prayer for you is to remain open and to remain prayerful and to let people around you know, old school style, I'm ready and I'm looking to get married and having a family. You can always have your career. Being able to have a family truly is a.
I don't know. I don't know why she says things like that. When she says corny things like that, man, ooh, I just want to just grind my teeth, bro. When you're in the jet stream of God's will, what the frick are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? So God is on a jet? I'm in the jet stream of God's will. So God is on the jet and I'm behind the jet in the stream. Is this a metaphor for just being on a straight line, a straight path to God? What are you talking about? If you're on a jet stream path of God's, and she do this often, bro. If y'all listen to some of the other things she be talking about, she does this often where she just brings up these random like metaphors or whatever. And it's like, what? Who told you that? And you wrote that last night and you read it over and over and over. And you thought it was a good idea to present that metaphor to me today. You didn't read it the second time and said, man, I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say that. If you're in the jet stream of God's will, what are you talking about? I did not know God was on a jet. How did I get in the air behind the private jet to be in the jet stream? Is God on commercial? Is it? I don't know, bro.
Very limited, short window. You can start your career. If you have people and it's amazing business, have other people run it. You can still manage it. You can still pour into it, but you have your babies. And then once your babies are grown and the nest is empty, go back to your career. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't have a career, you have your babies, the Lord's going to inspire something inside of you that you're like, you know what? There's a problem. I have a solution. How many baby companies have been born out of moms? You know, like the little carrier seat or a stroller or something.
We live for that carrier seat.
Right. 100%. I'm not trying to plug them for like something. So I'm just trying not to.
Enough TV time. But you miss Shalami. Enough TV time. But something changed, man. And it wasn't the death. It wasn't the death of Charlie Kirk. I know I yapped a lot, so there were obviously some clips that I missed. But something changed. Something changed between her and Charlie. And you can just tell, right? Because I know a lot of people have been saying, even in that old clip, y'all kind of saw through her then, which definitely, you know, that's possible. I'm not denying that at all. But it's something about her energy, her vibe, something is so off. And I know the average person is probably gonna say, well, her husband died. No. Because your husband can die. That ain't got nothing to do with you lying, though. It has nothing to do with you lying. All of this started unfolding because people started clocking her lies. Then she started she was starting to be painted as a liar. then people weren't feeling bad. They weren't feeling bad for her no more. Then she became angry. She wasn't this angry. She wasn't this angry when all of this first happened. At the memorial, she was can't even say she was sad, but like she wasn't this angry. She's this angry because she lost her title as the victim. People not buying that no more. She's probably catching a lot of smoke. She's probably tired of it. But hey, this is what you wanted. You wanted to be famous. You wanted to cut corners. You wanted to push people down in hopes that it would elevate you. And here you are. But you can tell she's angry, man. She's angry at something. And I think that it's something inside of her that's coming out. And I think once Charlie, was eliminated from this earth, I think whatever it is, I'm sorry, that's inside of her, I think that Charlie dying fed that. And it like fed its final form. And now it's here to stay on her facial expressions, in her eyes. That was like what did it. I think she was able to kind of go back and forth when Charlie was alive. And it would probably dabble in and out because I do think they have kids together. I don't think they're fake kids. That picture was fake, but I think they have real kids. People have already shown her pregnancy pictures that they were able to recover and stuff. So they have real kids. I think there were times in her life that I think that she was trying to get out of that. She kind of fell in love with her assignment. But when Charlie died, man, that was it. That fed that evil thing that's inside of her right now. It fed it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just bizarre to me. It's bizarre seeing all this go down. It's bizarre that Charlie married, that was the title of the show, is that Charlie married a mystery. He married somebody that he didn't really truly know. And I don't know. I go back and forth on if Erica actually loved him. And it's so hard to believe that this plan that was in place went on for 4 years, maybe longer. They met in 2018, got married in 2020, 2021. They were married for 4, so they known each other for 6 or 7 years. So sometimes it's hard to believe that for 6 or 7 years, she caught no feelings and stuck to the game plan for 7 years. Possible, but that's why I'm like, man, it had at least one of those years, you had to have fallen in love with your assignment. So that's why I'm trying to give her not really the benefit of the doubt, but I think that something was there. Eventually, not beforehand, not meeting him, but when you're together for 7 years, I think one of those years, she fell in love with her assignment. But Charlie didn't know this woman at all. At all. But I appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure you hit the like button. Sub to the channel if you're new. I will get to y'all comments so we can start a little bit earlier than usual. What is it? Hour 45 minutes in. Midnight. Yeah. Let's get to some of y'all comments. Let's go at about an hour ago and down. Well, if she didn't need a job, then why would she be there? And also, she didn't even have anything going on, really. Tyler Boyer told her to be there. That's why. Because you're 100% right. She had no reason to be at Bill's Burgers when she was at the Hamptons. She was at the Hamptons already living life. She didn't need this job. Candace had to help him with text messages, ladies. Those tailored suits. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Candace did say that. She helped. I mean, yeah, she helped Charlie with text messages with his first girlfriend. And, you know, she thought Erica was good for him and all of that. Candace been around. You do hair and there's not a name for that hairstyle. Somebody got to know, man. What's that Charlie Kirk hairstyle when he got the little fluff on top? Just fluff on top and nothing on the sides. I mean, he got a little bit on the side, but what is it with the fluff on top? It just sit right there too. It's not even like it's like a mohawk. It's just a fluff, just right on top. I think we also got to remember that Erica was 31. She was 30 when she met Charlie. 23-year-old Charlie. 23-year-old Charlie. When they got married? 2021? 6 years ago. So he was what, 24, 25? Yeah, nah, that Charlie ain't got no confidence. Not like that. I'm a very committed, very, very committed Christian. Even did missions in China. And I wouldn't go to Izzy to find a man. That was a crazy statement for her to say. I went to Jerusalem to solely, my sole purpose was to find a man. That is crazy starvation. I don't think God would tell you to do that. I think he'd probably say, listen, maybe not spend $1,000 on a plane ticket to go find a man. Maybe just chill at the crib. We got 50 states over here that you can just go to if you're really that desperate. And you might get lucky. I don't think you need to fly way over there. You don't find it weird that Miss Shalami was almost 6 years older than Charlie? I absolutely find it weird. I've always said that, you know, that plays into the same, you know, why would a 30-year-old woman want anything to do with 23-year-old Charlie outside of 23-year-old Charlie about to be a millionaire in a couple of years? And I think she knew that. She knew that because of Tyler Boyer. Outside of that, there's no way a 30-year-old woman that's already going to the Hamptons is interested in a 23-year-old nonprofit political nerd. Not buying it. And your roster includes athletes. Not buying it. She went to Israel for her Mossad meeting. I did not mean to say the full name. Hopefully I don't get banned. Her eyes started doing the spooky stuff. That interview felt like an exam to Erica. Her eyes was trying to say what CK wants to hear. I would encourage everybody, if you haven't seen it, if you've already seen it, then you already know, to go watch that Q&A, because there's a couple of questions in there where you can see Charlie being very annoyed. I do apologize that I wasn't able to pull it up because mine was tripping. But yeah, she 1000% would say something and then look over at Charlie to see if she was saying the right thing, and then flip her answer in live time. Like, and she was smooth with it. You gotta, you know what I mean? She definitely was smooth with it. We was able to peep it, but you know, it probably went, I guess it didn't roll over Charlie's. It didn't go over Charlie's head because he clearly was annoyed by it. but it was a good recovery for her. She launched a dating app after Charlie died, Friends and Fellowship, and or something like that. Really? I had no idea. It's 2026. People find their mates on apps. That's how it works. Right. I can't show this for too long, but she also says she gives credit to those people for their hard work. Right. Right. I saw that. That's pretty crazy. She lacks accountability, trying to present herself as a perfect person. I 1000% agree. Love you, Jay, my fellow introvert homebody. I'm definitely a homebody. I stay at the crib. I really do. Listen to her Miss America speech. What she thinks is, I'm gonna have to go listen to it. I listened to her Miss Arizona speech, but I guess I didn't care about her that much to go listen to that. I will. Sounds like she's repeating what she heard in Speed Bible Camp those 8 months she disappeared. Absolutely. You can tell, bro, when she runs out of stuff to like say, she'll be like, yeah, and Titus 2 says, I'm like, whoa, what? How did we just go from a regular conversation to quoting scripture? Listen, it ain't nothing wrong with it, but I need a heads up or something. Like we just jumped from regular talk to that, and it be coming out of nowhere. When she said I literally won the lottery with my husband, you could tell she meant that ish from her soul because he had no idea what he was in for. Yeah, 1000%. I agree. Yeah, no, and he used to brag about her too, man. I had a couple videos pulled up today that I wasn't able to get to, but he used to really, really, really brag about her, and it's sad. Oh Lord, it was thick at 33 likes. She's such a fake. What family members did you lose? Erica dad, 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's what I'm saying. She had father figures in her life. I cannot believe she tried to pull that card. 35 likes tonight. What's up, Chime? Her parents are CIA allegedly. It must be exhausting answering every question with a religious soliloquy. That is a fact. Stop playing video games. God forbid a man have a hobby. I know, right? I don't like those type. I mean, everybody got a hobby. that's the thing about when she talks, she just makes it seem like this is what a woman should do. And it's like, you are a fraud, though. You're a liar. You didn't do any of those things. If making more money was so easy, we all would be doing it. Yeah, that was one thing about Charlie again that I was like, I'm not really a fan of, man. It's like, listen, everybody, more people than not, or more people than not, more people than not. I don't know. Way more people would love to make more money than the people who don't. So when he's like, just go out and make more, it's like, brother, you're being funneled millions of dollars from another country. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Charlie was somebody that I think he might not have been worth every single penny, because that's just crazy that a 23-year-old is making 300,000 a year, and then it just kept going up. But prime Charlie Kirk, when he had everything going on, the books, the podcasts, the social media, and all that, I'm like, yeah, bro, like you definitely built your brand outside of just getting money from other countries. But he made, like, at the end of the day, it's like, bro, you work for a nonprofit, and that started off with another country putting money in your pocket. That's not everybody's situation. That's like so unrealistic. At the end of the day, a normal guy has it harder than you, Charlie. Yes, that is exactly what the question was. That is exactly what it was. That was one of them, actually. Um, Man, I wish I could find it. But yes, it was dating advice on like waiting until you're married or something like that. And Erica said, get checked every 6 months, get tested every 6 months or something like that. And Charlie was like, how about don't have sex? Like, what? And then she tried to backtrack and say, yeah. Don't have sex. It's like, bro, you already said, what are you getting tested for? Oh my gosh. I want to see if I can just find that one question. I'm realizing y'all are not looking at it. I know. I was just trying to see if I could find it. Okay. Okay. I'm giving up. I'm not gonna find it. I'm not gonna find it. Next time I will timestamp everything. Facts. If your body count was not zero, if you're telling her body count was not zero, if you're telling people to get your blood checked every 6 months. Exactly. Exactly. Says the girl who wears sneakers on every outfit, no matter if it's elegant or not. Just to look like she's cool and edgy. She's not. She doesn't even know who she is. That's the crazy part is the girly side of Erica was only for Charlie. If you look at Erica before Charlie, she was, tomboyish. Erica post Charlie, oh my gosh. Y'all seen her. She's not a girly girl. It arguably is worse than pre-Charlie. I cannot believe she was in a full button up all the way to the top when nothing, just a straight button up, all black with a baseball hat on. What? I don't know. I used to be Team Erica, stopped when she didn't care nor had the inclination to wonder about Charlie's last text. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was a lot of people. She definitely she didn't care about a lot of things. That was for sure one of them. But yeah, there was a million things that she just didn't care about that she just let go. And I was like, nah, man, this girl is weird and strange. Any normal spouse would cause hell if they found this information out. But yeah, she's weird. This is a prime example of her being who Charlie wanted her to be. Once he was gone, she didn't have to fake it anymore. Exactly. Exactly. And then you got to think about the timeline again as well with Erica and as far as her and Charlie leading up to their last days. Charlie sends a text out to Andrew Covid and Dan Flood saying, I feel like they're going to kill me. He comes home from Asia. He sleeps in a different room. And then he wakes up the next day and doesn't even kiss Erica goodbye. Going on tour when he just felt like his life was in danger. I think he would have gave any normal husband would have gave their spouse, gave their wife a kiss before leaving for a couple of days when you haven't really seen them anyway because you was in Asia. And if you felt like you was gonna die, you for sure was gonna be a little bit lovey. He sent that text out and he said, I'm still not talking to you in the morning. I think he knew. For real. Imagine calling out your cousin for trying to find her life partner or even just having fun when your body count was probably higher. Facts. I'm telling you, that roommate got to come to the front. She has to come to the front and acknowledge or expose Erica for trying to throw her under the bus. Yeah, if I was that non-existent roomie, I'd be sat in the front calling her out for pretty much calling me this. Yeah, I'm telling you, if I was that roommate, I would come to the front so quick. Erica would hate that. I agree. She's talking about tell a pastor that you're ready for a husband. That was a weird thing. I don't know if she meant like priest because she changes her denomination depending on what room she in that she receiving money. So maybe she forgot that she said pastor because now she in the Protestant side, right? Versus saying priest, which is the Catholic side, versus rabbi. Like she might have forgot. She does happen. She grifts often. So she might have forgot what she was for the day. For real. How does a jobless or temp worker woman earn enough to be holidaying in the Hamptons? Isn't the Hamptons the playground of the rich and famous? Yes. I don't know where that money come from or came from. We know her mama rich, but nobody knows what she was doing in New York. Allegedly, there's such thing as kids, or there's such a thing as renting kids in Hollywood for TV shows, or what have you. So allegedly, the kids are rented, or they're not Charlie Kirk's. Yeah, I don't know. I think he definitely. I think I'm definitely not ruling anything out, but I do think those are his kids. Um, but at the same time, you are right. That does happen. That is a real thing. But I do think that they're his kids. I think so. I think he would have been able to pick up on something, at least with the daughter, because she's much older. There are people on TikTok talking to you too, Jay. TikTok didn't cut you off tonight for once. Just saying. Listen, I cannot look back and forth to the TikTok and the YouTube channel. I can't. It's hard. I wish it brought all comments to one page. So TikTok, I typically allow people that don't feel like getting on YouTube. Because I know YouTube sometimes has ads and stuff. So I do the TikTok thing and do both at the same time. So that way, for the folks that don't want to get on YouTube, they can just listen on TikTok. But it's hard to look at both and keep up with both comments, especially because TikTok thing is like this small box that constantly disappears. You only can see like the last 3 or 4 things. But at night, when I turn everything off and I lay down, I go through all the comments. So I get to go back and laugh for another hour before I go to sleep. So I read literally everything. TikTok comments, YouTube comments. I read it all. For real. Thank you. Thank you for hitting the like button. For real. You couldn't waterboard that information out of me that my husband didn't kiss me goodbye if he was taken out the next day. I mean, I don't know why she chose to share that. I don't know why she chose. A lot of things she's done is just so questionable, and I'm like, why would you even do that? You didn't even have to do that. Who told you to do that? She should speak out against the failed security team suing Candace Owens, and people may respect her slightly more. I mean, that's the thing. She's turned into just a talking point for Trump. That's what Turning Point USA is now. They just do whatever Trump say. And it's weird because Charlie might have loved Trump, but like he still would come out and throw out his opinion on his shows. And they just don't do that. Anything Trump want is what Turning Point gonna do. And I knew it. I knew it when she said I gotta address the nation. I knew it was gonna be about political violence. I knew it. That's exactly what Trump and them wanted her to do. Use her platform to talk about political violence versus going on her platform and acknowledging that y'all created an AI clip of Charlie saying he appoints Erica to CEO. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to come and talk about all this other stuff that don't mean nothing. I believe CK's public assassination was a message, Turning Point USA 2.0, that if they don't play ball, they even took the money, blood in and blood out. I agree. It was for sure a message to a lot of people. I feel like it also was a message to, probably Trump as well. That like, look, bro, we will actually do it. We nicked your little ear in Butler, but we'll actually do it. We just took out your top advisor. Keep playing. So yeah, I think a lot of people were shocked by this. It was a wake-up call that they needed to play ball. Dope hat, best city there is. Appreciate it, man. I can't agree with you on that. But I do like the hat and I like the colors. Am I the only one who thinks Andrew Colvett and Erica are having an affair? Maybe that's why Mikey said to look into him. They're definitely weird. I don't know what we can confirm or deny about that, but they're definitely weird. They definitely have some type of weird connection. So maybe, maybe. I'm 50-50 on the kids. I feel it's possible. Could have convinced him to do it for appearances so she didn't have to be pregnant. She said on her podcast that the C-section scars were gone. Interesting. I got to go back and find that podcast then and maybe do a deep dive into these kids. I do know that, first of all, I was about to say, I agree with you as far as the appearance. I think that they had to bring Erica into Charlie's life so that way he's not this single bachelor guy that could just do whatever he want. He had to meet he had to pass the public eye test of having that wife next to him and all of that other stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm 100% open to different theories. So once I go down and look the kids thing and start hearing more about it, my opinion might change on if she actually had kids or not. I've always given you the vibe of a Bears Bulls fan. Don't do me like that. I'm not doing no Bears, no Bulls, no none of that. It's honestly probably worse, but just hear me out. Just the hometown. Atlanta, everything. Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Hawks, whatever. Atlanta Braves, all that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that C-section thing. That's crazy. I'm gonna look into it. But man, yeah, got to the bottom. Oh, a couple more coming in. I hope his parents come out. I hope so. Hope, dear Lord, hope the truth, let the truth come out for real. Well, I appreciate y'all for listening. That wasn't that bad. 2 hours. Um, you're getting better and better at this thing. But I appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure you hit the like button before you get out of here. Make sure you hit the sub button if you're new to the channel. Tomorrow we will not be live. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So for y'all that have been following and watching for a while, y'all know what goes down on Wednesdays. So I will be out getting that cardio in the gym. So nothing on Wednesday. Probably Thursday, Friday, one of those. Remember, the Black Line Brief collab is coming Thursday or Friday, one of those. So we will be back on Thursday. But outside of that, I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Appreciate y'all for watching. And I will see y'all on the next one.